Competitors, go! And we're away in the first of the elimination round of the intermediate. Some great shearing we're going to see here in the next hour. We've got Shane Meehan there on stand number 1, Quinton Sanson on number 2, Wharangi on stand number 3, Wharangi Graham on stand number 3, Jesse Edmonds on 4, Liam Quinlivan on 5, and Mitchell Williams on stand number 6. I've been asleep and having a cup of tea here. I just need to get the old roll of the tongue going again, and we can set these guys away. We're probably looking at getting these sheep shorn in just under the shade of 2 minutes. A big sheep here from the Wairarapa. So, but they're cutting and combing very, very well, aren't they?
Yeah, no, these sheep are shearing beautifully. They've had a fairly good growing season, so I understand you've had a little bit of rain just to get on with the job. But these shearers now are all shearing, as we've been mentioning all day. They're shearing to the Bowen pattern that was developed by the Bowen brothers. Everybody shears to that pattern worldwide. And these shearers now are all shearing down nice and easy, nice and comfortable. And of course, if you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is that it's not the fastest shearer that wins. It's the combination of the points between the board judges, which is our judges on the front, and they're looking for any second cuts along the line. And then we've got judges out the back that are looking for any tiny skin cuts or any wool or tassels left on. And then the combination of all three facets will be put together and the lowest score wins. And when it comes to the time, it's a point for every 20 seconds. So 3 points a minute. So it's all got to be done fast and clean. So these shearers now, they're all coming along nicely, John. Shane Meehan from Featherstone on 1. Quentin Sanson from Fielding on 2. Then we've got Wharangi Graham on stand number 3. Jesse Edmonds from a big shearing fan out there on stand number 4. Liam Quinlan from Waipukarau on 5. And Mitchell Williams from Christchurch, the left-hander down there on stand number 6, John.
Well, it's pretty popular, that left hand. No, stand number 6. We used to turn the plant around and have the door on the other side back in the day when the big magician Colin King was down there. But hey, they've got a shear. They shear like this in the shed all the time. Not every shed has a left-handed door, so you just got to adapt to the situation. You talked about the pattern of shearing. Well, Godfrey Bowen actually went around New Zealand and borrowed a few shots from here, there and everywhere. He heard about a good shearer somewhere, up in the Mackenzie or down in Cheviot, maybe in the far north. So he went and never talked to him and went and watched him shear. So he actually gathered those blows and designed it and put it all together. And he is accredited with the general pattern of today's shearing. So he's gone and left us now, Godfrey, but look, he's certainly left his mark here on the shearing industry. And here we go, down the first off leg, up the bloody, over the tail he goes, big body shots coming in now. Tries to get that sheep to sit down on stand number 6, just adjusts the head a little bit, pushes those big blows up the undermine, off with the top knot. So you're seeing the shearing at a different angle. If you're sitting down the far end, you get a good shot down there on stand number 6, aren't you?
Yeah, with stand number 4 now, and he looks as if he's the furthest on. Jesse Edmonds from Whanganui there on stand number 4. He's putting those shots down that hind leg. Another 3 or 4 blows and he'll be finished. But that sheep's got different ideas. The only time he's going to want to see her again, John, is on the barbecue by the look of her, the way she's kicking.
Well, I think they'd eat pretty well too. But these, of course, are destined to rear their first lamb through this coming season. So the farmer doesn't want any injury, of course, to the sheep. And the shearer's not trying to, but occasionally just the hand and the leg don't sort of run the natural course, and she can bring it up and perhaps just get the odd little bruise or two, as I call it. So down
okay,
the last
folks,
side,
we're
they come there on
here
stand
at the 2014 Golden Shears, and on behalf of our president, Mr. Phil Morrison, who we have beside us, and we'll just have 1 or 2 words from Phil and just welcome along. And he will just welcome you into the internet world. And currently we have 1,000 people online, Philip, and it is your very first season as the Golden Shears president. And look, we're going into the internet age, and it's absolutely fantastic. Well, your thoughts at this time, Philip?
Oh, this is absolutely great to have such a good picture going out around the world. And with these extra cameras showing the different shots along the board, out the back, absolutely brilliant. Different sides of the stage. You can certainly see the close-ups with the shearing and the judges and the sheep out the back. It's just absolutely fantastic, and gives a broader indication of just how Golden Shears works.
Well, Philip, I know you're right in behind this internet technology and relaying our information, and we're just enlightening and educating the people that may not have seen shearing, wool handling or pressing competitions, and the internet is opening up the world, and shearing from Masterton here at the Memorial Stadium has become very small, hasn't it?
Yes, it certainly has, and we're very thankful for the business that's coming in with this technology this year. It's all happened so fast, with ultra-fast broadband being put into the stadium and able to go out in such clear pictures. But it's something that the more people that watch it, I think the more people that get interested in it. But nothing ever beats the live situation of being in the stadium, particularly in the finals nights.
Well, that's absolutely sure, and I think we're into our 53rd or 54th year, and it looks like it's just getting better and stronger.
Yeah, 54th year of Golden Shears, has always been in this stadium, always in Masterton. Yes, this is always trying to new things which make it more interesting to anyone who may want to watch it anywhere in the world. May not get to New Zealand ever, but look, it's just it's publicity for the whole competition scene wherever competitions may be held. But we're just a little bit bigger and brighter than most.
Oh, good comments, Phil. Hey, look, just something that's probably a little bit off the tangent a bit. Look, the Wairarapa and particularly Masterton suffered a massive earthquake just a few weeks ago, and this hall I know is under pressure from the council that it may have to be changed, may be condemned, but it's still being used here. And look, you wouldn't get this atmosphere in any other hall, would you?
That's quite right, Coro. Listen, as I said, we've always been in this stadium and has its own atmosphere. Very, very hard to perhaps recreate in something that's new, tin walls, but the acoustics are absolutely brilliant in here. It really is the right size for this event.
Well, there you go, folks. That's Mr. Philip Morrison, and Philip has been with the Golden Shears for a very, very long time. He has been Vice President, Chief Referee for a number of years, and this year he's put on the President's badge. And look, you could email the Golden Shears if you would like a program posted to you. It'll be a cost, but I'm sure Angeline Colhoun, our secretary, would be quite happy to send you out the souvenir program. And Philip, that would be great to grace any bookshelf, wouldn't it?
Yes, I have done that myself with contacts in Britain this year. Just scan through the program to them, and it just helps with anyone who's interested in watching this live internet streaming. But of course, once we come to the finals, I think those that are really interested will get up at any time of the day or night to watch the action.
Well, it's live streaming, it's going out live, and of course, wherever you are in the world, we welcome you here. It is a Māori fashion to say no mai, haere mai, welcome, looking at the Golden Shears, and this is the very first day here, and we're culminating by Saturday night, Philip. This place will be roaring.
Yes, that's part of the atmosphere that builds in here. Today being some of the lower grades, it's a little bit slower. And as we go through each day, it picks up, the pace picks up. Even with the wool handling, they get faster, they get stronger, they get more efficient. But yeah, come Saturday night, this hall is absolutely full of people. And with the big final that we have, the crowd starts roaring even before the first sheep hits the board.
Well, there you go, folks. That's Mr. Philip Morrison. Philip, thank you for your time. We will do this every day and introduce ourselves to the World Wide Web and let them know what's happening. We'll go through, at this stage, we're going through the intermediate shearing elimination heats. That's for shearers that can shear up to 280 adult sheep in a 9-hour day. I could be wrong, it could be 8 hours, but we're going through those. And it's interesting. Look, we've got people from all around the world, and I didn't know that there were sheep in Japan. There's a Japanese shearer on stand number 2.
Yes, Sean Oshie, he's been in New Zealand, of course, for several years now. He's learnt to shear the style that most shearers in New Zealand shear. He's also a wool handler. I think he first came as a wool handler, Sean, and but he must stay here, I think, all year round. He's in the South Island and obviously likes what he's doing. But listen, his techniques and speed have increased over the years, so now he's in the intermediate class. But he's a character in his own right, but a very competitive guy at in this industry.
Well, he looks like a box of fun because he's got the big braces on and he's got his hair pinned back. And this year we're going to Gori in Southern Ireland for the World Champs, and I believe Sean Oshie represents Japan.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you...
Sean Oshie represents Japan.
Oh, sure, Sean has Sean at World Championships. Even though he may be a bit slower, he has represented Japan in Wales, and I think here in New Zealand in 212 at the World Championships. But like in Olympic Games, it's the participation that counts from as many countries as possible. But yeah, great to have him here, and I believe if he goes to Ireland this year, later in the year, that he may have someone else to make up a team for Japan in the shearing.
Well, there you go, internet folks. Look, throughout the duration of the Golden Shears, we'd like to bring in a guest commentator. We might, at some stage, bring in Roland Smith. Roland is the current Golden Shears, the current New Zealand Shears champion. And there's also a Scotsman that harbours around here. He is the current world champion. And we'd like to be able to talk to these folks over the internet so we can get an idea of how they're feeling at this time. So back to our commentators in the War Memorial Stadium here at the Golden Shears for 2014.
Look at the powerhouse man rocking across that last side. Can he keep the handpiece glued on top of the skin? On the long blow, down and out to the flank he goes. The Japan man's coming across the shoulder on the stand number 2. He just loves it. Look at it. Rolling it there. How many years ago have I watched this guy? He started here at the Masterton Shears. Didn't have much of an idea of what to expect and how to go about it, but he's mastered the art now. Look at him coming out the last side, shearing the intermediate. Bry Harrison, quality shearer there from up in the north, turns on to the last side now. Conan Gray finishes out. Beautiful stuff. Richard Carter, the Englishman. Over the top comes Rex. Come on, Rex, keep the hammer down. You've got 4 of these monsters to shear. Beautifully coming down the last side is Brian Harrison, stroking it off, trying to keep those blows to a minimum, keep the comb full without spilling over and making a second cut. Working hard. This is heat number 2. We've got 8 to get through. So let's make it happen, Hugh, and we'll get them all done as fast as possible.
Yeah, no, they're going well at the minute. We've got Conan Gray, the Masterton man on stand number 1. We saw him earlier on in the pressing up there, doing a beautiful job. And now he's on the shearing game. Then we got Shunuishi, the Japanese shearer on stand number 2, all the way from Japan. He shears a lot of llamas and alpacas worldwide. And I know that his girlfriend Helen's been watching over in the UK, because she sent him a text message earlier on and asked him to do his hair tidy. Brian Harrison from Okahau, from up in the Northland on stand number 3. She's a young lady. We saw a lot of her in the junior grade last year. Both sides of the water. She was over in the UK, and I think she's coming back again this year. A very, very good clean shearer. Then we got Khan Culshaw. He was a junior finalist here last year. He's shown a lot of juniors, did very, very well. Did that young Matauda man on stand, the number 4. Then we got Richard Carter, the Englishman, up there on stand number 5. And Rex Salisbury is up there on stand number 6. He's all the way from Dargville. So these shearers now, in this Khan Culshaw, he's out the hind leg, keeping the quality. Look at that for a finish here on stand number 4, ladies and gentlemen. There's not a ridge or a blemish on that sheep. And then Conan Gray is coming after him. Richard Carter is just going to go in front of him. He snuck up on me there. In goes Richard, in goes Khan. Shun is just coming down the last side here on stand number 2. Out the hind leg he goes. He's a little fella with a very, very determined spirit there on stand number 2. Out the hind leg he goes. But it's the men on stands 4 and 5. Richard Carter, the Englishman. Khan Culshaw, the man from Mataura in the deep south, down below Gore there. On stand number 4. Out the hind leg. Into the hind leg he goes. Shun Nuishi. He's got sheep number 3 on the board as well. So it's all pretty friendly up there at the minute, John. They're all keeping each other pretty close together.
Well, I was just taking note of our young Japanese man there, and he's actually tuned into us pretty strongly. He's got a radio microphone in his ear there, and he's just making sure that we're keeping him up to speed where everybody else is in the competition. Either there he doesn't want to listen to the Woolhandler, I'm not sure. But anyway, he's working away there diligently, and down the first off leg, you see a little bit of blue rattle on that wool. Now, there must have been a mark on the sheep that they wanted to identify just to make sure that the shearer didn't run into it. Could have been a little bit of a scratch on the fence or something like that. So they've just a little bit of rattle there to show the shearer that perhaps just be careful. And as Rex down there on stand number 6 rocks up the long blow, hard in against his left leg, that sheep pulls it round now, got reasonable controls. He comes on to the last side. The Englishman's following suit there. Richard Carter under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Khan Colshaw coming down and stroking it off nicely. Still got one in the pen. Bri Harrison's got 2. She's upped the game a little bit. Conan Gray under the shoulder and down and out to the flank on the front stand. Look at him go, pulling it and choking it. Stretching the skin with his left hand. Use that left hand. Can't stress that enough. Bri Harrison just started to slip down the board hole, so she used the sheep to help her get back up again. Down the last side comes the Japanese man, Sean Oshie, comes under the shoulder of the money side of the sheep and down and out to the flank. Very important as Rex goes out the last leg. He says, crikey, I've still got a couple to go. Better get into that pen. Sheep number 4 on the board for Carter. The Englishman's starting to show over. And we've lost our time points. What's happened upstairs?
Yeah, we won't worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's all being backed up, and it's Richard Carter now then. He's just a couple of blows in front of Khan Culshaw. Up the neck they go together. Where's Shun? He's got sheep number 4 out under the board. 4th and final sheep coming out, but it's the Englishman, young Richard Carter there. He's dropping down into that shoulder now. Nice and easy does it. He steps over on the longbows. Khan Culshaw says, I've travelled a long way as well. He'll step over on the longbows, but it's Richard Carter. He's gone for a bit of speed this time. Down the last side he comes. Where's Khan Culshaw? Flat tack on the longbows, and he's doing a beautiful quality job as well. So it's the men on stands 4 and 5. Down the last side they come. Shunuishi goes into the undermine. Up the neck goes Conan. No, he gets the turn on stand number 1, but it's the man there on stand number 5 then. Richard Carter, the Englishman. He's travelled a long way to be here, ladies and gentlemen. And out goes Richard Carter on stand number 5. Khan Culshaw from Mataura in the deep south of the South Island. Out the hind leg he goes. Another couple of shots of him. And Conan Gray, the local man. He's coming down the last side. He's really trying to catch Khan now. Khan Culshaw, though, he has his time taken on stand number 4. And Conan Gray, the Masterton man, he goes out on stand number 1. Oh, what a good battle they had there on stands 1 and 4. But it's the young lady on stand number 3 now then. Bria Harrison from up in the top of the Northland there. She's a real quality shearer. Look at the point she's got out the back. In she goes for sheep number 4, as Shun Nuishi, the Japanese shearer, ladies and gentlemen. Down the last side he comes. He'll be representing Japan later on in the year over in Ireland in May in Gorey when we go over to the World Championships. He's cleaning off underneath that front leg, but that sheep isn't playing ball with him, John. She just kicked out on him there.
Oh, I hate that, eh? Look, you think you've got the job done now? He says, I'll hold the head up higher. I'm only a man of small stature, but I've got plenty of heart here and plenty of muscle. Let's give this Wairarapa mother a bit of a tune-up, he says. And out the last leg he comes. Only want your pantyhose off. He said, just sit still, it'll be done in 10 seconds. In goes Rex for another one. Down the far end, Rex Salisbury. He's got the fourth and final sheep on the board. Brian Harrison, up the next she steps as Sean Ossie drops that one down the portal. Has a little bit of a look at the judges. Probably not so happy. The sheep were wriggling, and that just adds a few more second cuts to the job. But looking pretty sharp up there at about 2.8, so that's not so bad. You've got a 2, just straight out 2 there. So the second column, of course, the pen points are the judging outside. It's the average number of demerit points per sheep. We've got an 8.25 and a 12.5, so things are starting to add up here as we move along. Heat number 3, be ready to go. Down here on the floor, please, in this intermediate shearing elimination round, sponsored by the Trust House. Ryan Harrison turns onto the last side. Rex Salisbury steps up the neck. Hey, good to be still shearing sheep at this age, or is it? I'm actually trying to talk other people into doing it nowadays. And round the back of the head he comes, but he just obviously loves the competition, the competitive side of the job. Down towards the first shoulder. Still making a pretty good fist of it too as he rocks into the long blow now. Brian Harrison down the last side. Difficult sheep to shear if they don't want to sit still, these Wairarapa girls. One over the tail and let it down the hole and hit the button. That's the story you're over and done with for this round anyway. And we wish the best of luck as they add up the points. The yellow scores are starting to come through up top there, and that's going to, you keep an eye on them. 33 is the lowest up there on this one. 39 is the next. So we'll just see how it goes. You've got a bit of a mental picture of what was the best score in the previous couple of heats.
Yeah, I think it was about 36 or 38 in the previous heat, so all the heats that are yet to come, they know that they've got to do a very clean but fast job, John. So just putting the finishing touches now then is Rex Salisbury up there on stand number 6. Give him a warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That's the second heat of this, the Trust House Intermediate Shearing Competition at the Golden Shears 2014. So let's get heat number 3 up.
Thank you, Hugh. Straight into heat 3, ladies and gentlemen. Owen Davies on 1, Michael Hurley on 2, Pagan Rimini on 3, Lyle Whittleborn Byrne on 4, Ramon Smith on 5, and Lee Harris on stand 6. Heat 4, Larry Fleming, Marshall Guy, Stuart Davies, Bevan Penny, Sion Lewis and Llewellyn Williams. Just quickly, ladies and gentlemen, our Te Puni Kokuri Senior Wool Handling semi-finalists. We'll announce them in order of qualification. Connor Puha from Kimbolton, Tani Maria from Masterton, Dane Rihi, Titiko, Vinnie Goodyear, Masterton, Timanako Waikari, Masterton, Anna Braddock, Ikatahuna, Carmen Smith from Pongaroa, and Paige Browse from Paringa Hau. Congratulations to those semi-finalists in the senior wool handling.
Stay at the green light. We have a green light.
Timekeeper's ready.
Shearers on the ball.
Works every time, John.
Thank you. Okay, got the all clear from Graham. Okay, timekeeper's right. Judges, competitors, go. We're off and moving once again here on the front stand. Number 1, we have Owen Davies from Wales. Hey, crikey, I think I counted about 11 or 12 outside New Zealand in this event here, the intermediate event sponsored by Trust House. Michael Hurley from Martree on stand number 2. Pagan Rimini, a local lass from Masterton on 3. Lyle Winterburn from Rangiora on stand number 4. On number 5, Ramon Smith from Gisborne. Down on stand number 6, we get Lee Harris from Australia. By Karaki. As I said, great to see so many overseas competitors here testing themselves against the best of the Kiwis that are lined up here in Masterton for 2014. Unsure of what the prize money is to win this event, but hey, it's not about the prize, it's about the purple ribbon at the end of the day, the purple sash. They get the kudos, they get your name in the trophy book for the next 100 years. So let's see how these guys go. We've had some good scores in the previous couple of heats. This is the third one and we're underway. A minute 17 gone. They're probably shearing them in about a minute 50 or thereabouts for the faster ones. And a Welshman on stand number 1 leading the way, as he know, down there, or maybe on 4. Could be Rangiora just leading the way ahead from Owen Davis from Wales. Turn onto the money side of the sheep, under the shoulder and down and out to the flank for Winterburn. Pagan Rimini comes across the shoulder for the first time. Michael Hurley right there. Ramon Smith on the money as well. Down and out to the flank on stand number 6. Crikey, she's pretty tight up there in this first one, Hugo.
Yeah, and they're not messing about, do they? Lyle Winterburn then. And Rangiora on stand number 4. He goes for sheep number 2. Who's going to be the next in? It's going to be pretty close, I'd say. It is close all the way along the line. It's the Welshman, Owen Davis, from New Radnor in Wales on stand number 1. Radnor Shaman, and he's great to see all these Welsh boys over because it's really helping the Welsh shearing industry when they come back home, and it's really lifting them up. In goes Michael Hurley, on stand number 2. In goes Pagan Rimini on stand number 3. Lyle Winterburn then, off comes the top notch, up goes the neck, he goes. Ramon Smith, he's got the belly wool coming off. So too has Lee Harris, the Australian, up there on stand number 6. But it's still the man on stand number 4 then, Lyle Winterburn. Up the neck he goes, cleaning off that cheek. And he's rolling that cheek now into that front shoulder. Nice and easy does it. Owen Davis goes up the neck. Michael Hurley, he's into the undermine. Up, off comes the top notch for Michael. Up the neck he goes. Pagan Rimini's getting quicker and quicker on stand number 3. But it's still the little fella on stand number 4 then, Lyle Winterburn. He's just about to get to the turn. He's pulling away from the rest of the field. They'll try and wind him in on the next 2. Ramon Smith, the young fella, he stepped up into this intermediate from the juniors last year. And then Lee Harris from Australia up there on stand at number 6. Into the shoulder he goes. But it's still Lyle Winterburn on stand at number 4. Out the hind leg he goes. Nice and easy does it. His legs are straight. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That's the perfect shearing pose there on stand number 4. As he puts the finishing touches and goes in for sheep number 3, John.
Yeah, working away, look at it. All looking pretty good. The scores are still pretty sharp up there, by golly. Hey, the competition is getting tougher and tougher as Ramon Smith comes under the shoulder. Likewise as Lee Harris, the Australian. I just noticed that Harris, when the start of a sheep, he didn't actually tuck the leg up under the rib cage like a lot of the Australians do. He's shearing it the crossbred way, and he's just maybe stretched that front leg there a little bit up too much, but he's come down the last side. He reverted a little bit to his Australian sort of way, but he's doing it. He's the man that's doing it. Then they go on the front here. Owen Davis, right on the money is Mickey Hurley, he as well. Pagan Rimini, after a bit of a trouble getting that first sheep out, she's ready to, almost with 3 blows to go, to drop number 2 down the porthole. Winterburn though, Rangiora round the back of the head. He looks like he's got the job under control as far as the speed goes. 4 minutes and 50 seconds gone. Here they go, the pace. Into the long blow goes Winterburn. He's got a clear set of heels on the rest of them at the moment. The closest to him is Ramon Smith, along with Michael Hurley, followed by Owen Davis, has just dropped back a couple of blows. Down there on the far end, the Australian Lee Harris is down the undermine. 2-3 shots down the leg and winds up over a couple. Still some good low scores there, and we're over halfway through the job. 0.5, 0.8, whoa, the quality's right there, but it's easy to do on these sheep. They're shearing extremely well.
Yeah, these sheep are what we call pinking up, ladies and gentlemen. which is where you can leave a really pink finish on that sheep. And look at him go now then. It's still the man on stand number 4. Lyle Windleburn will go in for his 4th and final sheep. Who's the closest to him? I think Ramon Smith has put a bit of a spurt on. The young fella there on stand number 5. His father Dino will be here shouting at him somewhere. There he is in the back.
Ramon Smith out the last leg. Over the shoulder comes Pagan Rimini. Hey, they're starting to scorch along. Maybe these guys will be shearing in the speed shear later on. Entries taken on the night here in the stadium at a senior and open class for the speed shear. That'll be happening around about 6 o'clock. In they go, Owen Davis, Mickey Hurley, sheep number 4, Pagan Rimini 3 blows away. Oh, Winderburn, he's got a half a sheep on the rest of them at the moment, is Winderburn. Ramon Smith down the first off leg. Out the last leg, down on stand 6 for the Australian. The commentator goes up and he's telling his favourite Welshman to get his back into gear. And he's now, oh no, he's come back. What do you think? What did you tell that man?
Oh, I can't tell you trade secrets like that, John.
If you told me, you'd have to kill me.
Yeah, I would, yeah. And into the back leg he goes. Lyle Windleburn doing a beautiful job up there on stand number 4. He's turned for home. Round that shoulder he comes. Up the neck goes Michael Hurley. Pagan Rimini, she's just flicking that belly wool out. A very, very good lady shearer there on stand number 3 from a big shearing fan out. Her father, Dion Morell, has made the team and he'll be representing New Zealand again. So up the neck she goes on stand number 3, but it's still the little man on stand number 4 now then. It's Lyle Windleburn as he puts the finishing touches and out he goes on stand number 4. And then Ramon Smith has turned. Down the last side comes Ramon. He's cleaning off around that shoulder. That's one of the most difficult parts of the sheep to shear. You're shearing a very angular part of the sheep with a flat piece of steel. And he's doing it nice and easy. Look at that, out the hind leg he goes. He's coming over to the UK shearing this summer, so it'll be great to see him over. And Ramon Smith then puts the finishing touches. Out the hind leg he goes. 2 more blows to do. One last little bit of a flick. Out goes Ramon Smith on stand number 5. And then Owen Davis, the Welshman from Radnorshire there on stand number 1. Out the hind leg he goes. His mother and father will be shouting at the TV screen at home. And he's just about to have his timetable down here on stand number 1. And out he goes on stand number 1. And Michael Hurley from Mattieri on the stand number 2. He's putting a beautiful finish on that sheep there. Every little whisker's coming off. One last little bit of a flick. Out he goes on stand number 2. And then Pagan Rimini there on stand number 3. She's just putting the finishing touches. Lee Harris from Australia's got a kicker up there on stand number 6. So out goes Michael, out goes Pagan. And then the young Australian. Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he puts the finishing touches up there on stand number 6. That's another good heat there, John.
Oh, certainly was, and he was right up with the pace, but just a couple of kicky sheep and you can lose ground just like that. So those shearers are off. Could we have heat number 4 on, please? Heat 4, take the board immediately. We're running against the clock.
Thanks, fellas. Heat 4. We'll get you on the board now, please. Larry Fleming of Gisborne on stand 1. Marshall Guy, Stuart Davies, Bevan Penny, Sean Lewis, Llewellyn Williams. Those 6 shearers on the board now, please. Heat 5. There's Dylan Jones, Yenna Pugh, Ken Massey, Jacob Brunton, Corey Smith, and Simon Goss. Just a reminder, competitors, when you come off the board or even before you go on the board, just be aware of those seats down there and refrain from putting handpieces on our velour seats, please. The oil seeps through and they generally stain and sometimes get ruined. So just be aware of that, competitors. Try and keep the handpieces on the floor rather than on the seats. That would be most appreciated. Yeah, nice to see a few more Welshmen in this one, John.
They've got sick of the weather in Wales as well and decided to do a bolt.
Is there any rest from them? Oh no, yeah, we'll keep you around for another couple of weeks. We have those shearers on the board, please. We
Timekeeper's ready.
Green light.
Look at that, works like a dream.
Okay, ready to go. Everybody happy? Timekeepers are good. Judges, competitors, go. We're off and going, and Hugh, another good lineup of shearers, and you're dying to introduce some of these Welshmen, I can see.
You're scared to try and say these names, and you. Larry Fleming from Gisborne on stand number 1. Marshall Guy from Kyo. We saw a lot of him in the junior grade last year. I think he was a top-rated junior, and his whānau have come right down the front to shout him on. Then we got Stuart Davis, a Welshman on stand number 3, but his mother's actually from New Zealand. So you can shout for him as well on stand number 3. Then on stand number 4, we got Bevan Perry. He's into the undermine there on stand number 4. Then we got Sean Lewis, another Welshman on stand number 5. And then Llewellyn Williams, another Welshman up there on stand number 6. So they're all settling into their rhythm now, making sure that every piece of wool comes off clean first time, every time. Down into that first front shoulder now is Sean Lewis on stand 5. Closely followed by Bevan Perry and Marshall Guy. Stuart Davis is up with him. So who's going to be the first to step over is young Marshall Guy. He's a young shearer with a big future on stand number 2. He's sweeping those blows in now. Gets to the cheek. Off comes the cheek wool, and down the last side he comes. Sean Lewis is up with him. Bevan Perry is only a couple of blows behind. Stuart Davis is up with him. So we've got a real ding-dong going on now. Who's going to be the first to drop this first one? Young Marshall Guy from Kyo. He goes out the hind leg. Sean Lewis goes out the hind leg. Stuart Davis is only a couple of blows behind. So too is Bevan Perry. But it's going to be the man on stand number 2 then. Marshall Guy swings that steel nice and easy. Round that tail end he goes. It no, it's Sean Lewis. The Welshman's gone in first, John.
Oh, is there any other names do you know? There's Lewis, Davies and Williams. Is there any other names over there? Oh, you get 2 varies of Davies. You're Davis and Davies. Oh, it's good to see so many entrepreneurs in the shearing world travelling and enjoying the hospitality here in New Zealand, and more so Masterton over this weekend. As we get on to sheep number 2 now, Larry Fleming. Crikey, doesn't half look like somebody I used to know as he goes down the belly on stand number 1. Flicks the belly out the back for the judges. Requirement for the shearer. Gets a second cut added if he doesn't flick the belly out for the wool handler. Marshall Guy, the youngster from Kyo, on stand number 2. Seems to be getting it easy at the moment. Good control, but of course that last side can be a real killer. They can take you apart on that last side. Stewie Davies rocking up round the back of the head, holding his wrist right in against the cheek of that sheep. A little bit of guidance from the ear, and then now the elbow against the eye and down onto the left hand's working on that front leg, trying to hold the shoulder clean in hard against that brisket, so he's eliminating second cuts. Very difficult to do, but he seems to have got it under control, and he's about to turn for home. On the money side of the sheep is stand number 4. Here comes Bevan Paddy. Over the shoulder now, works across, nice and flat. Left hand pushing, jabbing, taking up the skin under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Likewise is Lewis down on stand number 6. Whoa, it's getting faster as we get along this event. Turning for home, Williams down the far end. He'll need to get a bit of a barracking from his commentator mate up here. So I better switch over, and you need to get into him and tell him he needs to hang on in there in the pace.
He'll keep his quality, don't you worry. But it's this young fellow on stand number 2 then. His whānau's down here shouting, his mother's shouting. He'll have to listen, otherwise she won't give him any tea tonight. He's really going for it now on stand number 2. Off comes the belly wool. Where's Stuart Davis? He's got sheep number 3 on the board. Sean Lewis has stolen a couple of blows on the rest of the field. He's got a quicker shearing sheep there on stand number 5. Up the neck he goes. Marshall Guy. He's travelled a long way, and this Guy family, they travel a long way around New Zealand. They shear a lot of sheep, and they've been making signs at the Tui Brewery this week as well. So it's Marshall Guy up the neck, but it's still the young man On stand number 5, it's Sean Lewis there. On stand number 5, look at him dropping into that front shoulder. Down into the long blows he goes. He's looking very comfortable up there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure his family is over there in Wales just giving him a shout on. He's from down the Lampeter country as well. So he cleans off that cheek wool. Down the last side he comes, young Llewellyn Williams. He goes up the neck. He's a real good quality shearer though, that young man on stand number 6. So it's still the men on stands 2, 4 and 5 now. Down the last side they come. But it's the man on stand number 5. It's Sean Lewis, the Welshman. Out the hind leg he goes. Keeping that comb flat and full, John. As he puts the finishing touches. And he goes in for sheep number 4.
Yeah, we're just watching these young fellas. They need to try and keep that head up on that last side. Just hold it high between their knees for as long as possible, because once it gets down below the knees, you start ending up into fighting against them. They want to get down their portal, or anywhere around the town for that matter, as Larry Fleming comes around the back of the head now towards the money side of the sheep. The long blow is completed. They put 5 in the long blow, 1 over the backbone. Now the money side off with that last shoulder. Looking pretty good. Keeping the job right. The judges are doing a fine job up there, and we've still got low scores up there on the penalty point board. He's only judging inside there at the moment on the second column. The board column is the judging inside. The pen points are the outside points. So up there at the moment, we've got a 1.8 and a 2. So that's an average of 2 second cuts per sheep so far. Into the long blow down on stand 5. Into the long blow on stand 2 for Marshall Guy. Stepping up the neck is the Davies from Wales. Round the back of the head. Keeps that head stretched right up and tries to eliminate the wrinkles there on stand number 4. Stand 3, sorry. Into the long blow, he's about to move with about 3 or 4 blows. Cleaning that shoulder nicely. Turning for home down here on stand number 4. Working across at Bevan Paddy, but look here, the pace has come from stand number 2, Hugh, and he's whittled this little sheep out. Just one he saved in his pen, and he got it out in just on about 6 minutes and 50 odd for the 4 sheep.
Yes, it's going to be Sean Lewis, the Welshman. He's the next to finish up there on stand number 5. He's had a good crack at it. Stuart Davis, the young fella from just outside Belfwells. In Earwood, he's just coming down the last side on stand number 3. In goes Bevan Perry to have his time taken. Llewellyn Williams, he's from up the New Radnor country in Wales, just outside Belfwells, so he's coming down the last side. But it's going to be Stuart Davis then. Out the hind leg he goes, flicking that handpiece nice and easy. One last little bit of flick. Out goes Stuart Davis. Llewellyn Williams, he puts the finishing touches, cleaning off every little whisker there on stand number 6. Out goes Llewellyn Williams on stand 6. And then Larry Fleming from Gisborne. He's got a terrific pen score there on stand number 1. He puts the finishing touches round that shoulder. Down the last side he comes. Keeping his feet moving, keeping that sheep supported all the time so she doesn't want to kick. And he'll just come out the hind leg. He's only got 3 or 4 blows left. He could still be in a mix with a score like that, because he's done a very, very clean job. So one last little bit of a flick around the top of the tail, and out goes Larry Fleming. Give them all a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of the 4th heat of the Trust House Intermediate Shearing.
Thanks, fellas. Moving right along to Heat 5. Dylan Jones on 1. Yenya Pugh on 2. Ken Massey. Shearing on 3. Jacob Brunton on 4. Corey Smith on 5. And Simon Goss shearing on stand 6. Heat 6. Alan Lloyd Jones. Tania Matiha. Tamanaku Waikiri. Stephen Van Dorship. Catherine Maloney. Jack Diva. Just a quick call, please, for our finalists for our novice shearing. We need you up here immediately, please, to do a draw. Brody Horrell, Rudawai Fox, Connor Puha, Ivan Owen, Cologne McKinstry, Kobe Kershaw. Those 6 competitors up here to do a draw for the novice shearing event final.
Shearers on the board, please. Shearers on the board. Okay, we've got a green light. Timekeeper's right. Get him out of there, Mr. Referee, sir. Thank you. We'll start again. Timekeeper's right. Judges, competitors, go. We're off and go once again. And we've got more of our international flavour here. Dylan Jones on stand number 1. Una Pugh on stand number 2 from Wales. Ken Massey from Wales, from Whangarei. Our very experienced competitor there. Jacob Brunton from Levin. On stand number 4, Corey Smith on 5 from Rakaya. And down there from Kimbolton, we got Simon Goss. A great sporting family, the Gosses there. They've been strong competitors here at Golden Shears, but he's also got a sister in the New Zealand Sevens team, Sarah, who's a great shearer herself, but of course she's away representing the Ferns at the moment. The Black Ferns. Let's hope, wish them well in their next tournament. Here we go, the Welshmen on stands 1 and 2 look to be throwing the bog iron in pretty quick. Pugh first to turn for home on the money side of the sheep, and down over the last side he comes. Simon Goss will settle into it nicely down on stand number 6. Into the long blow there we got Corey Smith. He knows all about the hard work and hard yards to be done. The sheep doesn't want to lie flat on the floor for him. You got to keep moving it with every blow, because if you leave them on a bone somewhere, they will wriggle and kick and make life a misery for you. Jones comes over the last side now on the front stand, but it's going to be Pugh the first to go in stand number 3, stand number 2 in 1:36. Pretty good. Ken Massey comes over the last side here on the stand number 3. Look to be getting it easy. Rocks under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Hey, good to still have that competitive edge at this age.
Yeah, no, it's great to see him running into the field there. Running into the pen, rather. He did a good job last year. He made the semi-finals of the juniors. He stepped up to the intermediates. And then his mate on stand number 1, Dylan Jones, he was actually 3rd in the junior competition last year. So he knows his way around these sheep. And it's great to see these Welsh boys travelling. So up and that goes Anir Pugh. He was called Onion last year because his name couldn't be pronounced. But he's back to Anir this year because he's a good shearer, ladies and gentlemen.
And he's still called Onion.
Yeah, only when we get to the pub later on. But Ken Massey then from Whangarei there on stand number 3. He's taken off the belly wool. Jacob Brunton from Levin on stand number 4. He goes in for sheep number 2. Corey Smith from Rakaya in the South Island. We saw a lot of Corey in the UK last year. He didn't make a lot of finals, and he's been making a lot of finals down south. He's been winning a lot of finals down south. So he's a very good shearer. And then we got Simon Goss. As we heard, he's from a big sporting family. His mother, Ronnie Goss, is a world-renowned master wool handler. And he's a pretty tidy shearer when he needs to be up there on stand number 6. His sheep doesn't want to play ball this time, though, so he'll have to just tuck his feet in. So it's the man here, Anir Pugh, on stand number 2. He's got to the turn. He's out the hind leg. He's setting a bit of pace in this, the 5th heat of the intermediate shearer. In he goes for sheep number 3. He's running into that pen, John.
Oh, that sheep went down the chute. It was like it was on a conveyor belt. He was so keen to get number 3 on the board, and he's achieved that. And he wants to get this job over and done with as quick as possible, because he knows if he's got the fastest time, he can control the whip hand as long as he keeps the quality right. And that looks like it's happening up here amongst all these competitors. Halfway through the job for some of them, and the scores are pretty low. Out the last leg for Corey Smith. Out the last leg for Simon Goss. Jacob Brunton. Into the long blow he goes. Ken Massey down the last side. Still got 2 left to do. Jones here on the front stand. He's about to get sheep number 3 on the board, but Pugh working hard. Simon Goss has got a bit of a fighter down there. Watch out he doesn't slip off the stage, as the sheep might take him with him. And down the porthole he's about to throw it. Thank golly that one's finished, he says. In I go for sheep number 3. Ken Massey goes in for sheep number 3. Still number 2 on the board there for Jacob Brunton. Needs to let the handbrake off a little bit, as the pressure's on, because Pew's turning down the last side here on stand number 2. Winding it off, he's really making it happen. He says Wales is going to be in the hunt this year. I want that championship. Sponsored by Trust House, and this is just the elimination round. But if you don't fire here, you may as well go home, because by golly, every shot you got to make it count.
Yeah, every blow's a winner in this game, and look at these boys now. And Pew's got a kicker this time. In goes Jacob Brunton for sheep number 3, but Anir Pew puts the finishing touches to 3. He's just decided he's going to go for a little bit of pace in this, just enough to get him through. In goes Anir Pew then for sheep number 4. You'll be glad to get her down the portal. Not as glad as Simon Goss was to see the back of that last one. The only time he's going to want to see her again is when she comes out of the oven, because he had a terrible kicker.
It had a name of mint sauce all over it.
Yeah, no, she wasn't very nice to him, but he just shore it. He's kept his quality right, because you can see that judges out the back have judged it, and he's judged a pretty good score. So Anir Pew then into the back leg, and undermine he goes now. Those 2 big shots, one either side of the backbone. Big blows going in there from the Welshman on stand number 2. In goes Simon Goss. He'll find a bit of pace on this last one, I'm sure. He brings out sheep number 4 to the party. Dylan Jones, a young Welshman there on stand number 1. His family will all be watching him back home up in North Wales. Anir Pew then. Down into the shoulder he goes. Simon Goss into the back leg he goes. Corey Smith has got sheep number 4 out. Dylan Jones has got 4 out. Ken Massey, he'll just put the finishing touches. He'll go in for sheep number 4. But it's Anir Pew. Flat tack on the long blows now. Up the neck goes Simon Goss up there on stand number 6. He's trying to catch him, but Anir Pew is turning for home. He cleans off that cheek. Round that shoulder he comes. Down the last side then for Anir Pew on stand number 2. The Welshman. Dylan Jones goes up the neck. Simon Goss already been there, done that. He's dropping down into that front shoulder. He's having a good old stab at it now. Into the long blows he goes. He's turning that pace, but it's going to be Anir Pew, the Welshman, up here on stand number 2. And out goes Anir Pew on stand number 2. Simon Goss is turning up there though, John. He's not going to want to be left too far behind.
Oh, he's certainly keeping the pressure on, but your sheep's got to sit for you. And as Ken Massey steps forward here with sheep number 4 between his knees. Steps up the neck and down the side of the cheek. Over the shoulder comes Jones on the front stand here. Working across. Simon Goss out the last leg. He's probably been another 20 seconds behind the pacemaker here in this event. Was viewed on the second stand. He's having a little bit of a chat to the Rousies, Mr. Pugh. He says, "Thank you very much for looking after me. I hope I did the same to you and didn't kick the wool all over the place." Down the last side on stand number 1. Dylan Jones reaches for the red button. Likewise as Corey Smith down there from Rakaya. He's trying his best to get that last leg off. Sheep just starting to move a little bit. They said it's time to get to the high country. Let me go. I want a little bit of wool left on. Ken Massey turns for home. Last one on the board for Brunton. Just the belly removed so far, so he's got a little bit more work ahead of him as Ken Massey comes over the shoulder on the last side. Once again, you'll see those yellow scores up there on the computer board, or the big TV screen above the shearers. We have a 21.69 in time, it's an average of 3 second cuts per sheep on the board over the 4 sheep. An average of 13.5 out the back. That's an average of 13.5 individual mistakes or little bits of wool left on, giving a total of 38.185. So he'll be keen to keep an eye on that score. We will be eliminating a few of these shearers as we get into the next round, so we can't take them all through to the semi-final. There goes Ken Massey, reaches for the button, turns it off in about just a shade over 9 minutes. A few blows left in the sheet now for Jacob Brunton. Feeling the pressure of shearing up here, these big sheep from the Wairarapa. They just over in grand shearing order. It's been a good summer down here for the sheep. Nothing too dry, nothing too wet in the last couple of weeks, so the wool's all fluffed up. It's shearing perfectly as he comes down the last side. Only using about 2/3 of that comb, and probably should have been using at least 3/4 of it, because every blow you put in, it takes time, and that's seconds against your name. Out the last leg he goes. Last sheep almost completed there for Jacob Brunton from Livin. Thank you, Jacob. And now we'll move on to heat number 6. Heat number 6 down here on the stage, and move on, please. Straight onto the stage.
Okay, has stand 1, Alan Lloyd Jones, Tani Mariha, Tumanako Waikiri, Stefan Van Oorschot, Catherine Maloli, Jack Diva. Heat 7, Bo Wagner, Ben Liley, Josh Hazelwood, Adam Morton, Elgin Jones, and Heat 8, which will be your final heat in the Intermediate Shearing Championship, Ryan Boot, Lloyd Rees, Joseph Stevens, Dylan McGruddy, Darren Alexander. There'll be 2 heats of 5 competitors in our last 2 heats will be 5 competitors.
Okay, we'll like to keep those shearers on the board. Get in the pen there, you'll get your toe stood on, and you'll have a black nail in the morning. We'll save the St. John's person a little bit of work, shall we? As we're about to get the green light. Bit of camaraderie, that's what I like to see in the far now. Shake of the hand and wish them all luck. Because once that machine goes on, she's all against one another.
Yeah, another very good lineup up here, John. A lot of these names we've seen a lot of on the Shearing Sports New Zealand website in the results. So it's great to see them up on the stage here at the Golden Shears.
Are you computer literate, are you?
I can just about turn it on and go to this page I want to, yeah.
Hell's teeth, a Welshman ahead of a Kiwi. There's something not right there.
So we're still waiting for that green light, and as soon as that green light comes on, we'll get our shearers underway, because they'll be wanting to get into it. They've been mentally preparing themselves. The gear is right. The body is right. They've been training for this, and they'll be into it.
Just 2 more heats of 5 shearers. Have we got green? We're going green. Referee says we're good. Timekeeper's right. Judges, competitors, go! We're off and go once again. Look at them rock up. Alan Lloyd Jones from Wales, by golly. They'll know how to spell Wales for the end of this competition, won't they? Hey, up there in the cheap seats.
Yeah, we'll have to change it to Cymru just to really confuse the issue.
Well, we've got Tani Matihana from Masterton there on stand number 2. And Tumanako there. Waikiri from Masterton on stand number 3. Jonathan. Stefan Van Oorschot from Pukikawa, is it? Yeah, that's way up the north. Up in the Waikato. On stand number 4. On stand number 5, Catherine Maluli from Matawai. And down on stand number 6 from Wairarapa, Jack Denver. Might have to put me glasses on. Big riding, wrong angle to see it. But anyway, back to the shearing here. And who's going to lead the way? Tumanaka's been a busy lad here in the shearing and wool handling competition. He's been in the pressing, in the singles, in the pairs, been up here in the wool handling as well. And now he's doing battle on the shearing stand in his own right. He'll be part of that triathlete event, the big test of doing the big three. Can he get out there and get the first one down the portal? Looks like he's going to do it just by a whisker and sneaks it in. What sort of time do we miss the time? It's not up there on the top. But they're shearing along pretty nicely. Just 2 heats to come after this. 2 heats of 5. And come on, Jonesy. Need to let the brakes off. Can't have these Kiwis beating you into the pen. So I'm sure you're going to get a bit of stick from my co-commentator here as Tani drops it at the belly wool out there on stand number 2. Down towards the undermine. He's about to go. Ooh, a little bit of sewing work going on there. The sheep start to pump that needle up and down. Look at it just building herself for that last side. She's flexing that leg and she's going to come back at him when he gets onto the last side. You can see that. Stefan's going pretty well. Pukikawa down the belly he goes. Right with the money down there is Catherine as well. And, up in the far north, above by Gisborne, or around the coast a bit from Gisborne, Matawai. Doing a pretty good job. A great quality shearer. And I tell you, she'll have a couple of goose eggs on her account if all goes according to plan up there. Look at him go though. Stand 6, not to be left out. Right up there, round the back of the head now, doing that first off leg on that front shoulder, Hugh, the most difficult part of the sheep.
Yeah, there certainly is, but it's the men on stands 2 and 3 then. Tani Matiaha on stand number 2 and Tumanaka Waikiri both from Masterton on stands 2 and 3. Out the hind leg is Tumanako, out the hind leg is Tani on stand number 2. The young Welshman Alan Lloyd Jones is coming after him on stand number 1, but it's Tumanako Waikiri, in he goes for sheep number 3. In goes Tani on stand number 2. Alan Lloyd Jones on stand number 1 from Corwin in North Wales. He puts the finishing touches. He goes in for sheep number 3. So we've got them all out on the board. The screens have gone blank, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. We've got all the scores coming in. So it's the men on stands 2 and 3. That's all we've got to commentate on, because they're having a bit of a battle there. The 2 local men from Masterton on stands 2 and 3. Well, it's Tani and Tamanaka on stand number 3 there.
I was watching him in the pressing this morning and they were doing battle there as well.
Yeah, they were having a real ding-dong at it. But look at them go now. And then they joined up and they were teamed together. And they looked pretty impressive when they teamed up as well. So up the neck goes Alan Lloyd Jones, the Welshman, on stand number 1. Where's Catherine Malooly? She's been doing a lot of winning in this the intermediate grade. And I think she'll be going up to the senior next year, ladies and gentlemen. She's been working out of Pongaroa with sheer exhaustion and David Buick. So she's a very, very clean shearer up there on stand number 5. A real quality shearer. Up the neck we got stands number 6. But it's Tani and Tumanako here on stands 2 and 3. Long blow time. I think Tani on stand number 2. Tani Matiaha on stand number 2 is coming down the last side. Tumanako is coming right at him. Stefan, he's doing well there on stand number 4. Up the neck goes Catherine. Up the neck goes Jack then. Up there on stand number 6. But it's the men on stands 2 and 3. They're where all the pace is at the moment, John. I know it's not all about the speed, but it counts at the end of the day.
Well, the higher up the competition you get, the faster you need to shear, simply because the points stack up a little different way. When you're a novice, you need to control your speed and shear for quality. When you're an intermediate shearer, you need to lift the speed and also take the quality with you. And then on to the open, the same thing applies. So speed becomes a little bit more important on the bigger number of sheep you shear. We're shearing 4 sheep, and 4 sheep on the board now for Tane. He's up over the top. He's got away from Tumanaka this time, simply because Tumanaka had a little bit of a fighter. But Tumanaka's got a little one this time. Well, it's the smallest in his pen of monsters. So he's down the first off leg. Undermine coming up. 2 good shots up over the tail. Over the top comes Stefan. Down the last side, he's popped the head out, he says. These sheep are too tough for me here in the Wairarapa. I'll make it easy for myself. There's still another couple in the pen. Catherine's got sheep number 1 on the board. Sheep number 4, she's right on the pace, along with Jack Denver. Oh, in they go. The last one coming out now. 6.5 minutes gone. Tani's turned over the top. Working away, the sweat's glistening off his shoulders. Can he stay out in front of Tumanaka, Waikari?
Yeah, he's going to give it a good nudge anyway, John. Down the last side comes Tani here on stand number 2. And out the hind leg with this next blow. You got 3 full comb wets from there. And then he'll have one last little bit of a flick on top of that tail. Out goes Tani Matiaha from Masterton on stand number 2. And Tumanako Waikire on stand number 3. Also from Masterton, he's coming after him. The 2 local fellas, they've had a real battle on stands 2 and 3. Tumanako, we've seen a lot of him. He's been a busy, busy man with the pressing, the wool handling, and now the shearing. Out he goes on stand number 3. Stefan Van Oorschot there on stand number 4. He's dropping into that front shoulder. Catherine Maloney has turned for home. Jack Denver or Diva up there on stand number 6. He's coming down the last side. But it's Alan Lloyd-Jones and Jack on stand 6. They're blow for blow. Stands 1 and 6. Out the hind leg they go together. Keeping the job right. Keeping it cool. Alan Lloyd-Jones in. Out the hind leg he goes. Jack has put the finishing touches. One last little bit of a flick. And out goes Jack up there on stand number 6. Out goes Alan Lloyd-Jones. Catherine Maloney's putting the finishing touches. So too is Stefan Van Oorschot there on stand number 4. Out he goes. Out goes Catherine. Give them all a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome stuff. Just 2 heats to go. Can we have that heat down here and moving on, please? Heat of 5. Don't sit out there in the audience. I know you want to watch what's happening and what's going on, but let's get you up on board.
Heat 7, Bo Wegner on 1, Ben Liley on 2, Josh Hazelwood on stand 3, Adam Morton on 4, Elgin Jones shearing on stand 5. Just a note to novice finalists, novice shearing finalists. The draw has obviously been done. Ifan Owen on 1, Ridiwai Fox on 2, Cologne McKinstry on 3, Brody Harrell on 4, Kobe Kershaw on stand 5, and Connor Puha shearing on stand 6. So just be aware, novice finalists will be underway as soon as the intermediate heats are over. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that the bar is open at the southeast corner of the stadium. So if you feel like a refreshment.
Shearers on the board, please. A couple of Australians this time round, a bit more Welshman stuff. Crikey. I think there might be one Kiwi.
Yeah, there's one there.
We're green.
Timekeeper's ready.
Yep, that's good. Okay, we'll start again. Everybody happy? Timekeeper's right. Judges, competitors, go.
Well, we got another good lineup here. John Bo Wegner from Australia is on stand number 1. Ben Lilly from Payatua on stand number 2. Josh Hazelwood, another Australian, on stand number 3. Adam Morton from Wairarapa is on stand number 4. And Elgin Jones is up there from Wales on stand number 5. So only 5 in this heat. And they're all going to settle into their task. They're all into that back leg. It'll take them a couple of sheep to sort a bit of an order out. Undermine time there for Adam Morton on stand number 4. Up the neck he goes. Who's the closest to him? I think it's Bo Wegner, the Australian, up here on stand number 1. Closely followed by Ben Lilly from Payatua on stand number 2. Josh Hazelwood, the other Australian, on stand number 3. and Elgin Jones, the little Welshman up there on stand number 5. So it's the man there on stand number 4. He's setting the early pace now, dropping down into that shoulder. Elgin Jones is there with him. Ben Lilly's with him. But it's still Adam Morton from Wairarapa. He's dropping down into those long blows. These are the longest blowers on the sheep, ladies and gentlemen. They go from the top of the hip bone to right up behind the sheep's ears. And then he'll just get to the turn now. He'll clean off that cheek wool, and down the last side comes Adam Morton. Elgin Jones has put a little bit of a spurt on. He's caught him up this time. Down the last side comes Elgin. He'll keep that bottom tooth on the skin. Cleans off right round that brisket, and down the last side comes Elgin. He's only a couple of blows behind Adam Morton this time. Ben Lilly's right up there with him as well, the Payatua man. He won the local prize in Payatua Shears on Sunday. So he knows his way in this shearing game. Out the hind leg goes Ben Lilly. Out the hind leg is Adam Morton. Out the hind leg goes Elgin, but in goes Ben Lilly. In goes Adam Morton. Elgin Jones will put the finishing touches. He'll push it down the porthole, John.
Yeah, certainly. I would just take a little bit of notice. You said the longest blow. Some of these shearers now get that far up the undermine. They're right between the shoulder blades of the sheep, especially the big, long, tall shearers. They can guide that hempies right up through the middle of the back and towards the shoulder blades. So sometimes the longest blow for these big, tall shearers is actually from under the shoulder and down and out to the flank, and right out that last leg as you come down that last side. So it just depends on which style they're using to where the longest blow actually comes in.
That's where I was going wrong.
But you couldn't do that. You're of the shorter variety like I am. We've got the limited reach. So as we come over the top now, down on stand number 6, Jones. Hey, that's just a Welsh name. Just say no more. It's Wales. Steps up the neck. Sheep starting to move a little bit. He just needs to keep shuffling on the floor about now. Keep his toes turned in towards the sheep and move his sheep with every blow he puts in. And that seems to be the secret. Don't let them sit on that one spot. Into the long blow now comes Adam Morton from Wairarapa. He's full of concentration as he rocks up that long blow. Needs to get a little bit closer to the animal. He's just a little bit loose at the moment, but he's settling. Got the sheep and she's not too flustered about it. He's coming over the last side. Hazelwood from Australia. Into the long blow. He's as busy as a bee. He's thinking about every blow he's putting in. As you can see his face contortions now as he drops into the long blow. From that first shoulder out of the road, that's a very difficult part of the sheep, as we've said, as Ben Lilly comes over the top. The Payatua Terrier rocks off the last side, but here Wagner from Australia is putting a bit of a withering run here. He's got to pop the head out and down the last side. Morton's going pretty strong on 4. Battle it in. No, still Morton in front by half a blow or 2. There goes Wagner, goes in. Change of handpiece there perhaps on stand number 4. Wants a fresh cut. Hey, not too much dust in these sheep, but he might have just had the wrong comb on, he thought. They'll go up there with 2 different types of comb. One a little bit rounder, one a little bit pointier. Trying to get the right feel for the sheep. You might have seen 150 shorn before, but you don't know until you get up there and have a crack yourself for how the gear's going to run. So he's decided fresh steel, Hugh, and we'll make it count.
Yeah, that fresh steel does make a fair bit of a difference when you're shearing. Elgin Jones has got a kicker up there on stand number 5. He won't be glad to see her coming onto the board. So in goes Josh Hazelwood, the Australian, on stand number 3. Where's Bo Wagner? He goes up the neck. He's hit a bit of pace this time. He's thinking, right, you boys, I've travelled over the ditch. I really want this. Into that shoulder he goes. Adam Morton, oh, look at the man from Wairarapa there on stand number 4. He's got to the turn. He's coming down the last side. He's thinking there's only one more left in that pen, and I want to get her out onto the board. He cleans off round underneath that front leg. Down the last side he comes. He's going for a bit of speed now. Out the hind leg goes Adam Morton from Wairarapa. 3 more, 2 more, 1 more full comb, 1 bit of a flick. In he goes for sheep number 4 now then. Then we got Bo Wagner from Australia. Oh, he's gone back to the old Australian front leg on that one. The merino front leg, he just used that on that sheep. Ben Lilly gets to the turn on the long blows. Elgin gets to the turn on the long blows. But that Adam Morton from Wairarapa, John, he's putting the finishing touches to the belly. Now he's into that back leg on stand number 4.
We're just watching Bo Wagner here from Australia. Oh, crikey, he must be shearing out in the sun a lot over there. He's got a good suntan since he's been across here. Yeah, but look at the power of the shoulder of the man. There's nothing going to get too much away from him as he goes down the belly now on his 4th and final sheet. Yeah, Jones down the far end. Puts the finishing touches. One left in the pen for him. Wairarapa, though, doing pretty strong here. He's got a good half a sheep around the rest of the field. Into the long blow he goes. He changed the steel and it made all the difference. He's got the cut now. It's gliding along through the wool fibre. Turning onto the last side. Some pretty good scores still up there at the moment. Nothing too bad out the back as well. 20 points are gone in time. So they're approaching 7 minutes as we come across in 6:51, and Morton under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. He probably have one of the sharpest times here if he can carry on the way he's going. Down and out to the flank for him. Hazelwood's got sheep number 4 on the board. Into the long blow goes Wagner from Australia. Pieter into the long blow as well. Oh, but it's going to be 7 minutes and 12 seconds or thereabouts for Adam Morton from over there in Wairarapa. Done a very fantastic job there. It's got 3 on the inside, 9 on the out so far. So that's going to hold him in good stead as far as making it through to the next round. Over the shoulder comes Ben Lilly from Pieter. Had a good start. Drifted off the pace a little bit. He's coming home with a withering run on stand number 2. Wagner says, I'm not getting too far back either. Jones down there on stand number 6. Into the long blow he goes. Hazelwood, the Australian, into the long blow now as Pieter finishes the job on stand number 2. One more heat to go in this, Hugh, and we will then have the novice final, the novice shearing final following these elimination rounds of this Trust House Intermediate Shear.
Yeah, so they're just putting the finishing touches now. Elgin Jones has turned for home. So too is Josh Hazelwood, the Australian. Round that last side they come, around that shoulder. Josh Hazelwood, he used the New Zealand style of coming around that shoulder there. He didn't screw that leg up. Out the hind leg he goes with this blow now then. Elgin Jones has got a bit more difficult shearing sheep. Josh Hazelwood puts the finishing touches. Out he goes on stand number 3. And then Elgin Jones, the Welshman, up there on stand number 5, ladies and gentlemen. He just puts the finishing touches, rolls that handpiece. Give them all a big round of applause. The 7th heat of the Trust House sponsored intermediate competition.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, moving into Heat 8, the final heat of our intermediate championship. 5 shearers. Ryan Boot on stand 1. Lloyd Rees from Wales. Shearing on stand 2. Joseph Stevens from Ireland on stand 3. Dylan McGrady from Masterton on stand 4. And Darren Alexandra from Wangamona on stand 5. Heat 8.
Sprint up, guys, come on. We're sitting there having a bit of a moy down on the cheap seats. All competitors are required to be at the bottom of the stairs at the call of their heat.
So these are the shearers that are in the last heat. They're the ones that got their entries in first.
Well, they were pretty smart. They paid before they left last year.
Yeah, probably did, yeah.
While they had the money. But anyway, it's the luxury of, or the curse, of course, of shearing in the last heat. You do know what's gone before you. But you've been waiting so long, let's hope you haven't got over nervous. In just a few moments while we get the change of the writing up there on the big board, we'll get the indicator from the big green indicator. Last heat of this Trust House elimination round, intermediate shear. Shearers are on the board, I like that. And we're going green. We've gone green. Step aside, Mr. Referee. Oh, you've got one fella to haul out there. Good on you, Graham McNay. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, we're ready to go. Everybody happy. Timekeeper's right. Judges, competitors, go! Woo! We're off again. You notice the referee, he just goes along and has a little bit of a chat to the shearer. Anything wrong? No, we'll get out, you know. No mucking around. He's a very experienced referee, and the shearer has the right to call the referee if he thinks he's got an unjust sheep.
He does, yeah, and of course Mr. Graham McNay is going to be the New Zealand judge at the World Championships, so it means he knows his work, because he'll be coming over to the World Championships in Ireland in May.
Well, it's good to see we've got a few top representatives going over there to help you guys out on your side of the globe. We're looking forward to that sort of competition taking part. How many world champs have you been to?
Oh, this will be the second one I've been to. As a commentator anyway, I've been to one more. That was when I was a shearer and I didn't do any good. But no, these shearers now then up on the boards, they'd love to make it into the semi-final. We got Ryan Boot. He's a New Zealander on stand number 1, but he works and lives over in Australia. I don't know what's dragged him over there, but it must be love, I reckon. He's dropping down into that front shoulder. Then Lloyd Rees from Llandafate, down by Brecon in Wales, on stand number 2. He loves this shearing game. He's a young fella that we'd like to see a lot more of in Wales. He's dropping onto those long blows. Then Joseph Stevens, he's an Irishman there on stand number 3. He'll be doing a bit of a river dance. He'd love to make it into that semi-final in this, the intermediate shearing on stand number 3. Then we got Dylan McRuddy. He's a local man from Masterton. We saw a lot of him last year. He's been working on the farms over in Australia as a farm hand, and he's now going into the shearing game full time on stand number 4. Then Darren Alexander from Whangamomana down in the Taranaki on stand number 5 there, John. A local man to you. So these shearers all shearing within themselves, and they're all giving it a good nudge. We got sheep number 2 out there from the Whangamomana man on stand number 5, John.
Always good to see you get a little bit tongue-tied there. Whangamomana. Hey, Wonga for short up there in the Naki. Of course, the proper pronunciation is the WH is an F, but Darren, he's from lives up in Tahora actually. That's where he's found our farm. They were great competition shearers in back in the day with the Alexanders, and it's good to see it's coming through in the next grade. As I say, I appreciate the number of names that are coming across the board here today, thinking back 25 years ago that their fathers and uncles were shearing up there. It's good to see the circle being still kept alive. And into the long blow now he goes. Here's young Darren, working hard, moving the sheep with every blow as he tries to. He's only a little fella, so he's got to be right on top of his sheep and use his skill, and of course his finesse with the handpiece. McGillicuddy there, down into the long blow he goes. The Masterton lad rocking it up, full of concentration. The Irishman on stand number 3, round the back of the head for him. Lloyd Rees from Wales, a little bit back off the pace, slow hand, steady, filling the comb up. That's what I like to see. There's plenty of time for speed. Let's keep the quality right for a start. Ryan Boot from Wairarapa, up the long blow he goes, rolling it off the. Look at that, just easy. Very, very casual. Turns onto the last side now. He's another one of those names that pops up from the past. Over the shoulder on the last side. There's Rees and Boot close together. Next in line is Joseph Stevens. But down there, looks like it's Alexander still out in front. Tahora to the 4. Down the first off leg he goes. Sheep number 3 on the board now for Dylan McRuddy. Looks a little bit tighter in the wool, this one he's pulled out. But no doubt he's got the steel to handle it. And down the belly he goes with 3.5 shots. He rolls it round onto that undermine. He'll just going to work off a little bit of wool in between the legs here, Hugh, but he's got it under control and looks to be quite settled.
Yeah, no, they're looking as if they're shearing well within themselves up there on the board. Darren Alexander from Wonga up there on stand number 5. That's a hell of a lot easier to say than Whangamomana. He's dropping down into that first front shoulder. Nice and easy does it for Darren. He's shearing for nice and easy. Then we got Dylan McRuddy on stand number 4. He's following him. He goes up the neck. And then the men on stand 2 and 3 are all pretty close But Lloyd will have a right up there with Joseph Stevens. Ryan Boot just a couple of blows in front, but it's the man up there on stand number 5 from Whangamomana, Darren Alexander. He puts the finishing touches.
Fulfill his ambitions, and he's obviously gone away and thought about it for 12 months, and he's come back with vengeance. Let's hope he can keep it flat for the rest of the job. So the time's pretty reasonable as 5 3/4 are gone. He's got his last one on the board. Joey Stevens comes over the shoulder on the last side, under the shoulder from McGrady on stand number 4. Still a bit of pace on from Ryan Boot here on the front stand. Likewise, the Welshman on stand number 2, under the shoulder. Down and out to the flank. This is the last of these intermediate shearers in the Trust House elimination round. Out the last side comes Joey Stevens. Into the belly now goes McGrady. Into the pin goes Boot. On the front stand, out the last leg, and 2 blows to go. He's got to drop it down as the Welshman on stand number 2. Stevens goes in, the Irishman. But down there at the far end, looks like he's got it all to his own at the moment. 6.5 minutes gone. Can he get it done in 7? Up the long blow now. 3 shots in, 1 up the backbone, 1 over the backbone, and turns onto the last side, Hugh. That's how we like to see it. He's showing the quality control at the moment. Everything's looking good for him. Let's hope he can hold it together for the last side.
Yeah, he's turned for the last side. He's coming down the last side. He's got 0.8 on the board, ladies and gentlemen, over 4 sheep. So that's 3 second cuts in total. That's pretty good. That's pretty clean job there from the man on stand number 5.
It's not over till it's over, though.
No, it's certainly not, but he's still keeping to his work. That bottom tooth is welded to the skin. 1 more blow left to do for Darren Alexander, the Taranaki man down there on stand number 1. Out on 5, out he goes. And then we got Dylan McGrady, the local Masterton man. He's turned for home. He's cleaning round that shoulder. He's coming down the last side. He's got a pretty low score up there as well. And then we got Joseph Stevens from Ireland and Lloyd Rees from Wales. Lloyd Rees has stepped over in the long blow. So too is Ryan Boot. But it's going to be Dylan McGrady now then. He puts the finishing touches up there on stand number 4. 1 last little bit of a flick on top of that leg. Now he's rolling that comb underneath the hamstring, making sure he's done a clean job. Out goes Dylan McGrady on stand number 4. Lloyd Rees has turned for home. So too is Ryan Boot. They're coming down the last side together. Look at them, their left hands are working very, very hard. The skin is being pulled tight. They're putting on a grandstand finish on stands 1 and 2. Ryan Boot and Lloyd Rees. Who's it going to be out of these two? Out goes Lloyd Rees, out goes Ryan Boot. And then Joseph Stevens, he's putting the finishing touches. He's not that far behind there, ladies and gentlemen. It's all going to come down to the quality. Out he goes. Give them all and all our intermediate shearers a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, great score, Hugh, great score. A 28 point and a half for Darren Alexander. So that'll take a bit of a pretty big job to keep him out of the semi-finals. So welcome, shearers. Thank you very much for taking part here. We're now going to gather our novice finalists down here. Our novice finalists. Make sure you're at the bottom of the stairs, gentlemen and ladies. Got to make sure we get that right.